So there's a picture of me with my children, Zach and Dallas. Dallas is sitting in my lap. He's 3 at that time. And we're going to Disney World. But the problem is, Dallas doesn't want to go. Now, what 3-year-old doesn't want to go to Disney World, right? We're thinking, okay. So I say to Dallas, Dallas, why don't you want to go to Disney World? And he says, like a 3-year-old would say, is, I don't want to fly. I'm afraid to fly. So what happens when you have a 3-year-old and they're afraid to fly? No, that's even crazier. That's even crazier. We're still flying. So what happened was everybody began to try and figure out why poor Dallas, age 3, is afraid of flying. And so what do you think are some of the reasons that the adults came up with on why he would be afraid to fly? What do you think it are? What's that? You saw the news maybe? Yeah, no, you didn't see the news. But that could scare you with some of the stuff. What's that?
Never flown before?
He had never flown before. Do you think maybe he was afraid of heights? That's what people thought, but no, not the noise. But that is true. They can be very loud. So he wasn't afraid of noise. He wasn't afraid of heights. He wasn't claustrophobic. So finally, after 2 weeks, I couldn't take it anymore. We're ready to leave in a week. And I'm like, Dallas, tell me what's the problem? He said, Dad, he goes, what happens if the pilot has to go to the bathroom? Right? Now, we laugh now, but what happens is that exact same logic we use in our lives, right? We said things, and even though we know that there's probably a logical answer, we have some limiting belief that keeps us from being able to accomplish what we're really trying to go to. And I said, Dallas, that's easy. We can solve that. And so luckily, a 3-year-old is very trustworthy. Here we are at the airport. This is right after we met a couple pilots. And I picked Dallas up, and of course he disappears in my arms because now we're going to talk to strangers, and you're not supposed to talk to strangers. But I went up and I said, okay, this is my son Dallas. We're getting ready to fly to Disney World, and we have a question. And they said, sure, Dallas, what's the question? I said, well, Dallas wants to know what happens if you guys have to go to the bathroom. And the pilot gave some great advice, not just for a little kid getting on a plane. He said, the first thing we do, Dallas, is we go to the bathroom before we get on the plane, right? So the first thing we should always do is prepare ahead of time. That was the message. Be prepared ahead of time. So plan ahead. And then the second thing they said, and don't worry, Dallas, if we have to go to the bathroom, we don't both go at the same time. So we always have a partner of different people that we're able to share responsibility with. So guess what? What do you think happened with Dallas on the plane? Slept like a baby, right? He got on the plane, he got in his seat, and like all that stress from the weeks leading up to that, he was out like a light. And he hates, because now he's 16, almost 17. He goes, Dad, why do you always tell that story? And I said, because it's a good story. It's a perfect example of how our beliefs can limit us in getting something that we really want. What kid doesn't want to go to Disney World, but he had this belief that if the pilot had to go to the bathroom, that somehow something bad was going to happen to him.